On the 23rd of March 2015, Ethiopia is celebrating the achievement of the Millennium Development Goal 7C, which is the achievement for halving the number of people that do not have access to safe water in the country. This is a remarkable achievement for the country, as now 57% of the country has now got access to safe water. The Millennium Development Goals were defined based on a baseline in 1990, and in the last 25 years 48 million Ethiopians have received access to safe water in the country. Well, essentially the progress in the first 10 years of the MDG period from 1990 to 2000, it was relatively slow progress in the country, with only 13 million people gaining access in 10 years to water supply from a baseline of 6 million. But there's been a rapid acceleration in water supply access since 2000 in the last 15 years, with the remaining essentially 32 or just more than 32 million people gaining access to safe water. How that's been achieved essentially is that the government of Ethiopia has shown extremely strong leadership, has developed a water sector development plan, and in that plan they have outlined clearly what financing is needed, what support is needed from a range of development partners including UNICEF, and they put in place also a very rigorous system of monitoring to be able to track what the progress has been towards the MDG. The coverage levels in the country now are extremely encouraging in Ethiopia, with a large number of people gaining access to water supply, but there are still some inequities in terms of overall coverage across the country. Some of the areas of the country are hydrogeologically very complex, where we need very interesting and innovative technologies to be able to supply water. One of these types of schemes is a multi-village water supply scheme, where a lot of investment goes into using remote sensing, radar sensing to identify deep groundwater and then provide water not just to one community or one town but to the surrounding villages and towns by piping water over tens if not hundreds of kilometers from a source into those villages. Ethiopia as a country as a whole has managed through strong government leadership and with strong participation of development partners to reach 48 million or just more than 48 million people with water supply in the last 25 years. UNICEF's contribution to this has been significant, with about 10 million of those 48 million being directly associated with UNICEF's investments and UNICEF support within the country. I'm extremely proud of this achievement. In 20 years of working in the water supply and sanitation sector, this is the pinnacle of our achievements. As a group, the UNICEF WASH team has contributed significantly to improving the lives of women and children by supplying safe water across the country. Today is a magnificent achievement for UNICEF and for me personally. To achieve the Millennium Development Goal 7C, more than $2 billion has been invested in the water supply sector in Ethiopia. The majority of that, of course, has come through the leadership and the financial contribution of the government of Ethiopia. But UNICEF has also partnered with some key development partners to achieve this, and notably to mention the government of the Netherlands, DFID, USAID, the European Union, the government of Japan, the government of Finland, the government of Italy, and the government of Canada. Through them and through partnership with them, we've been able to contribute about $300 million of this $2 billion, which has been invested to achieve the MDG 7. But it's very important also to acknowledge the extremely strong leadership and financial support of the development banks, particularly the World Bank and the African Development Bank, who've played a very, very key role in achieving this Millennium Development Goal 7C. And lastly, just to say that the NGOs and the private sector continue to play an extremely important role in this achievement.